Oh yeah, little Steely Dan. Yeah, I tell you what, like that man. Hello, everybody. How you doing? It is Thursday here somewhere. I hope you're doing good. If you're here, then you're obviously meant to be here. So you fulfilled your fate and destiny. Way to go. Welcome. It is Thursday, and we're gonna have fun today. We're gonna finish up these. All I can say are very interesting beings. I mean, as I said, could you imagine having a dinner party with all of these? Wow. I mean, that'd be freaking fascinating. There would be no conversation that would be boring. Anyway, speaking favor over us all, nothing missing, nothing broken is our reality. Abracadabra, we create what we speak. So, hey, if you got to speak something, that's the thing to speak. It's like putting money into the cosmic bank. You know, when you continue your cosmic journey, you'll never be broke. You always have favor, always, everywhere you go in the universe, no matter what realm, you will always have favor. And how can that be bad? Hey, Steiger, I'm seeing you, dude. Yeah, it's good, pretty good to see you too, dude. I love that. I get the time travel here all the time. It's like far out. Um, so, and you think about it. So you permeate the essence of your being with nothing missing, nothing broken, covered by favor. I mean, if energy plays a role in anything, then that certainly would tell me, hey, I think I might like to do it. And, instead of going around, effing everybody off or telling people to go to hell, I see a lot of that. I'm told that a lot of times. And I'm thinking, well, there you go. That's exactly what you need to permeate yourself with. But anyway, hey, chat room, what's up? Thank you, all you beautiful moderators and everybody else. And technically, I guess everybody's a moderator. But thank you, everyone. These are the good old days. These are going to be the memories that as we continue our journey, we'll look back on. Yeah. I got to tell you, I have a deeply appreciate every one of you. We have become more than just associates, friends. There is a bonding, and you could term, tribe as family. And we got a beautiful family here. Yeah. So, Grace, what's up? Kitty, good to see you. Deborah, Sloan, how are you, darling? Mary Wins, how are you doing, dear? Rick, as I'm going, all right. Mark, how you doing, buddy? Gaia, oh, how are you doing? Uh, who else is here? Robert V, what's up? Howdy to had to go to riding my horses yesterday. The weather was so nice. Yeah, ain't that's the January thaw, indeed. Neota, I agree. Palanka, how are you, sweetie? Haven't seen you in a while. Trust everything is well. Ferranza, how are you, my dear? Sending much love out to you. Chris, what's up? Lost in space. What's up, buddy? Appreciate you, Bonnie. Hello. And to everybody else, Jackie, what's up, girl? Good to see you. Grace, you're right. The Soul Tribe has a very cool vibration. We really do. I mean, I don't know how you could come into this environment. Medium, big deal. Um, and the energy is at such a high vibration and level, you know. Don't bring me down. Don't bring anyway. So someone had Preston. I'll be getting back with you with it, but curses can be broken. And yeah, I did a thing on curses. To keep a curse, it's a lot of energy to keep a curse on an individual, family name, bloodline, etc. But to show you how curses work, we as a species are really good at it. I mean, when you tell someone to go to hell, that's a curse. When you tell someone in a derogatory manner, in whatever expression or words you use, it's a curse. And if that person doesn't have enough shielding, so to speak, that curse could actually begin to impact their lives, and you may not even know them. Things start going south, and they're going, "What's up?" Yeah. Well, um, we'll have to go and review the favor ritual. That's how you break a curse. If you don't have that, I'll send that to you. So Preston, expect that favor ritual is powerful. I don't know any forces that could really overcome it. I mean, it's yeah, not to say it can't be resisted, but anyway. So yes, curses can be broken, but we all have to be careful of that. You can't be trying to edify a person in one hand and then cursing them on the other. I mean, typically in this realm, the negative one will typically have more energy naturally to drift towards and most likely to come true. Gogo, good to see you, my friend, all the way from Croatia. Good to see you, Paul Joe. Uh, Interesting. I'm reading some of the comments. Um, what else is on my mind before we get into this? Tomorrow, going to be reading Frater Nathan's Setnakh. I think you're good. This is an interesting individual. And I believe that tomorrow, many of us are going to have a much, much better um, understanding. Let me see. Is that still live? I think it is. Okay. What's up on that, huh? So it says excellent stream. Yeah, it's excellent because I'm excellent. So anyway, um, let's see. Do, 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 do. Something I have recently become made much more aware of. This is kind of a politics things. You know, I have found out that we are a group that don't mix well in larger concentric circles, particularly those who are really focused in on, for instance, political ideology and, one particular party or person. And if you tie a belief system behind that, I'm being very diplomatic in how I'm choosing my words, then you are immediately known or spotted as a resistor because you ain't going with the flow. And it's really sad, in the area of politics, I would lean, I don't belong to any one of the parties because they're one and the same. Um, Even now being independent, it's been hijacked. But I do tend to be more of a conservative perspective. Debt's bad, very bad, very bad. We all know that. Debt sucks. Debt is a curse, no doubt about it. So, but I don't hold Christian views. I'm not a Christian. And quite frankly, I think it's offensive that you would tie a political party to a single belief system. That's messed up. But again, you are like oil and vinegar. Just ain't going to mix. So anyway, that was my commentary on politics. It sucks. And to see a candidate that would favor one group over the other because of a certain belief system, religiously, I'm speaking. You have political ideologues and, politics is a religion within itself because it's an ideology that is turned into theology. Well, God bless America. Yeah. Which God? Well, there's only one God. Who says who? And then you get into this, washing machine round and around. If it and to say that a society's morals are predicated on a singular belief system, isn't that what communism is about? Marxism, socialism, is that you have to be part of an ism, Catholicism, you know, Christian. And I'm going, is anyone else not seeing this? Anyway, I digress. And here's a commentary. So we all heard, I don't know if you heard about the cat that in the Iowa Capitol, they had a statue of Baphomet. And again, the First Amendment is not a Christian First Amendment. The amendment says that I, as an individual, have the right to be free from religion. Not of religion, from religion. And I'll just say this. Christians, you don't have the sole right to display your iconography wherever the fuck you want. You don't have that right. And it pisses me off to think that you have a right to deface another belief system's emblem. You're a goddamn hypocrite. And I don't care if you served in the Navy or not. What the fuck you're serving for is that every person has the right to express what they believe in. And Christians, you don't have the right to determine and judge what can and cannot be displayed. Don't work that way. If your fucking God is all that powerful, then it shouldn't have any problem with competition. That's my commentary and opinion on that. And it is a hate crime. It's no different than someone painting a swastika on, a Jewish temple. It's a hate crime. And because you think that Baphomet may be offensive to you, then turn the other way. Whew. All right. I think I've had enough of that. So, the door, it's not one direction. It's a turnstile. Now, going back to the regular programming. I love this. So, yeah, so that's my political commentary for today. Yeah, just pisses me off is that there's only this one perspective. And then you tell these people that this is not a Christian nation, they go back crap crazy. They really do. Oh, they'll tell you that the whole Constitution was founded on the Ten Commandments. No, it was used by many different wise books. And I tell these morons, I said, well, then you've never studied American history. In the Balfour Barnaby Coast Treaty, I think this was like 1814, something around that period. Read the treaty. Now, these were Muslim nations. The United States declared the United States does not have a state religion. Do not. And so, I'm sorry, Christians, excuse me. There's that pepper. Woo. It's not only your way. The United States, even now in its present time, is having an influx of new ideas, new beliefs, new gods. And if that Constitution is what it is, then every one of them have the same right to express their beliefs without fear, of being repressed, bigoted, and segregated. So, moving right on along. Just, yeah, man. So, how about Taylor Swift? Isn't this interesting? Someone wrote me, and I had not given this thing any thought really. Here's an individual who came up basically out of nowhere, and no slight to her. I mean, she's nothing special. I mean, she's just another, it's all the same. It's, to me, it's all like, you know, the music doesn't have a soul to it. But every case, it's interesting because if you ever watch one of her performances, there's some stuff going on here. She even has branded the occult to herself, 13. 13 is a powerful occult number, very powerful. And, we're going to get right into it. You know, you talk about making a pact with the devil. Yeah, that's a distorted expression, but we all make pacts. That's what we do. Whether it's with friends, whether it is with mates, whether it is business, whether it is a religion, we do that. We make a pact. And so we're good at it. But when you start bringing into the whole aspect of, well, what are you making a pact with? Every religion is, in fact, a pact. You're making, in most cases, a blood covenant commitment. Blood covenants are really difficult. They're very difficult to get out of. You have to know you really have to get your poop together in order to get out of those. And I've done it here. And so, yeah. By the way, I had a dream last night. I was flying. It was freaking beautiful. That's all I got to say. So let's get right back into it. I think we're at 2122. I find these names, these that associated with these entities curious. I mean, there were powerful people back in the day that really believed this totally. And I have no doubt that there have been more than one who has been able to control a high-ranking demon. I know I could do it as a Christian with an angel. Yeah. I always thought that, I could have that same power by casting out demons. Okay. Who was doing all the power work? Well, it was the individual, wasn't it? All right. So, here we go. I'll have to read some of the comments on the whole thing, with an individual's stardom and his success. And again, it's really strange. I mean, wow. I mean, like the shirt says, I may be moving along on the road of life, but I got to see all the good bands, when they were in their prime. And they didn't make billions of dollars. A few got there, but yeah, anyway, I digress. So here we go. I enjoy the stimulation of conversation here. All right, so we're at Marx. He's 21 on the list. He is a great earl and a president. He appears like a great bull with a man's face. His office is to make men very knowingly in astronomy and all the other liberal sciences. That's pretty cool. You imagine having a relationship with Marax here. Wow, you could read tarot cards in a way that would freaking blow everybody's mind. I think I gave someone just an idea, but anyway, he can give good familiars and very wise, which know the ventures of herbs and precious stones. I might take a trip to Arkansas with that kind of a thing. um, he governs 36 legions of spirits, and his seal is to be thus worn, like everyone, like we said. If you're going to interface with these guys, well, then you have to have the right code. And iconography, which is basically symbols, sigils, is very powerful. Back in the day, I actually designed a security system using icons as the primary um, threshold. But anyway, all right. So the 22nd spirit is called Ipost. He's an earl and a mighty prince and appears in the form of an angel with a lion's head, goose feet, and hare's tail. He knows things past and to come. Do you get an idea that these cats, I think, could all do that? Seems to be. And I often get this thing in my head when I'm reading this that time is a ribbon. And and we fully don't understand time, but I got this sense that if you look at time as a ribbon and you are of such a sentient consciousness, you can look down on the ribbon of time itself and the striations, you would have the ability to see how they would interact past, present, future. That's deep. Wayne, where the hell did you come up with that? I had this dream last night, Anyway, he makes men witty and bold and governs 36 legion of spirits, small s again. His seal or character is this which must be worn as a layman before you. Lynn heard me reading this while she said, well, couldn't you just wear a lanyard? I said, brilliant. So if you don't have a lanyard, I've got many of them. Think about that. You could literally copy any one of these seals and simply attach it to a lanyard. Brilliant, eh? All right. The 23rd spirit is called Aim, a great duke and strong. He appears in the form of a very handsome man in body, but with three heads. That's like with Trina and Jenny when we were talking on Tuesday's show, three heads, like three breasts. I mean, that would be weird now, particularly if they all spoke. The first is like a serpent, a second like a man, with two stars in his forehead. Any of you are illustrators, I'd love to see your interpretation of that. The third head is like a cat. He rideth on a viper, carrying a firebrand in his hand, burning, wherewith he sets cities, castles, and great places on fire. He makes one witty in all manner of ways, and gives true answers to private matters. He governs 26 legions of infernal spirits. A little bit more up in the chain here. His seal is thus to be made and was be worn again at all times. I think that seal, I think that pretty well accurately describes that that demon. The 24th spirit is called Naberus. No, Naberus, excuse me. He is most valiant marquis and appears in the form of a black cow. Now, I think that these beings will also approach you in your dreams. If any of you have a desire, to get to know them, and you should, if you get to know the angels, hey, listen, hear what the other side has to say. You might find out you really like them. But yeah. So fluttering about the circle And when he speaks, it is with a horse's voice. He makes men cunning in all arts and sciences, but especially in the art of rhetoric. He restores lost dignity and honors and governs 19 legions of spirits. His seal is which must be worn. I'm trying to find the downside to this. I mean, seriously, I mean, I could see where someone could take advantage. I don't think it's taking advantage and making use of it. You know, it's like having a Porsche, and you can only drive it 10 miles an hour. That is a curious look at that. That is very, very interesting. Huh. I'm going to have to remember this dude. The 25th spirit is called Glacia no Bolas. He's a mighty president and shows himself in the form of a dog with wings like a griffin. He teaches all arts in an instant. Wow. Note to self. And is an author of bloodshed and manslaughter. Okay. He tells all things past and to come, if desired, and causes love of friends and foes. He can make a man go invisible, and he has under his rule 36 legion of spirits, and his seal is thus which must be worn at all times. Here's another one that can make people go invisible. And it's interesting. So he's the author of bloodshed and manslaughter, yet he can cause the love of friends and foes. Interesting. That's it. The 26th spirit is called Briy. He is a strong, great, and mighty duke, and appears in the form of a dragon with 3 heads, one like a dog, the other like a griffin, and the third of a man. He speaks with high and a calmly voice. He changes the place of the dead and causes those spirits that are under him to gather together upon their sepulchres. This paints this whole thing. When I read this kind of stuff, my mind is drawn to, the book that we have referred to and will continue, Ghostland. It is the in-between realms. And I don't know, it should become very clear to us that this is a complex intelligence. I mean, they understand something about matter manipulation that no alchemist that I have known or read about can match. He gives riches to a man and makes him wise and eloquent. He gives true answers to your demands and governs 30 legions of spirits. His seal, which he owns, and which he sees, is obedient to. And apparently there's 2 versions of this. This is the first version. Interesting. And he goes in to say, on a note, he hath another seal or character, which is made thus. You may use which one you will, but the first is best, as Solomon said. I can see that. The second one looks very generic to me, but the first one's got personality. It's got uniqueness to it. I just hadn't gotten this idea. I think I'm going to make copies of this and actually, again, make them to where you could, like, Nathan, here's an idea. You could actually put these in a place where you could have a lanyard and wear which one you want. Pretty cool, eh? The 27th spirit is called Ronov. He appears in the form of a monster. I don't know what that means, but I got a sense that ain't good. He teaches the art of rhetoric very well and gives good servants knowledge of tongues, favor of friends. Now that is interesting. And foes. He is a marquis and a great earl, and their obedience to him, he could. Legions of spirits, his seal is thus 19 legions, excuse me. Now, this is really interesting. He teaches the art of rhetoric very well and gives good servants knowledge of tongues. In other words, he could teach you any language of any angel, any, I think, celestial tongue. But the last one is, and I think many of you picked up on that aware, he speaks favor, grants the favor of friends and foes. Huh. Love this stuff. I mean, if nothing else, just the knowledge alone. I mean, you could go into any dinner party, any place, any gathering. And if the conversation is just the same old boring crap, can you add some spice to it? They're either going to love you or they're going to make a wide berth to avoid you, one of the two. The 28th spirit, in order as Solomon bound them, is named Berith. He is a mighty, great, and terrible duke. He has two other names given to him by men of latter times, Biel and Bolfrey. He appears like a soldier with red clothing, riding on a red horse. Robert D., wouldn't that be beautiful? I mean, they got certain horses that they almost look blue. They're just so beautiful. But a red horse, that would be kind of cool. And having a crown of gold upon his head. I think this is only like the second one that we've read about that actually has the crown, and this one is specifically gold. And he gives true answers of things concerning the past, present, and to come. A lot of deviation, divination going on here. You must use a ring as is before spoken with, Beleth, in calling him forth. He can turn all metals into gold. He can give dignity and can confirm them to men. He speaks with a very clear and subtle voice. He is a great liar and not to be trusted much. He governs over 26 legions of spirits. His seal is that which must be worn at all times. That's a complex freaking sigil. Says, don't trust this dude, man. Don't trust him. And you will find mortal men and women that would. And who knows? He may be at that time, that day honest. The 29th spirit in order is named Ashroth, excuse me. He is a mighty and strong duke and appears in the form of a unbeautiful angel. Not sure what that actually means. Is not the idiom that beauty is in the eye of the beholder? So if they're saying in here, Solomon's saying, this is one ugly angel, we can bet our ass it's a good one. Okay. Riding on the infernal like dragon, dragons are real, and carrying in his right hand a viper. You must not let him come too near to you, lest he do you damage by his stinking breath. Wow. I've been on a plane when the person behind you passes some gas. I mean, that's going through hell, but he will do damage by his breath. Wow. I mean, and don't tell me his spirits can't feel, can't, talk. I mean, if they have stinking breath and they know that, I mean, I'm trying to really discern what's the difference. If they have acquired the same tactile senses that we have, wow, think about that. Therefore, the exorcist must hold the magical ring near to his face and and you will defend him. He gives true answers of things past, present, and to come, and can discover all secrets. He will declare willingly how the spirits feel, if desired, and the reason of his own fall. He can make men wonderful, knowing in all liberal sciences. He rules 40 legions of spirits. His seal is this, that which must be worn, or else he will not obey you. That's interesting. Yeah. I don't think that, I would have a problem meeting the dude or dudette. Oh, that's a fabulous symbol. Wow. I like that. That's cool. All right. The 30th spirit is called Fornus. He is a mighty great marquis and appears in the form of a great sea monster. He teaches and makes men wonderful, knowing in the arts of rhetoric. He causes men to have a good name and to have the understanding of tongues. He makes men to be beloved of their foes, as well as they be by their friends. Oh, favor again. Tongues, you gotta love that. He governs 29 legions of spirits, partly in the order of thrones and partly of angels. His seal is thus made and must be worn as aforesaid. That's a cool one. The 31st spirit in order, as Solomon said, his name is Foras. He is a mighty great president and appears in the form of a strong man in human shape. He can give you understanding to men how they may know the virtues of all herbs and precious stones and teach them the art of logic and ethics in all their parties if desired. He makes men invisible, witty, eloquent, and long-lived. He can discover treasures and recover things lost, and he rules over 29 legions of spirits. How many would vote that this guy's pretty cool? I mean, if we were taking score here and they're listening. I mean, we're calling their names, and yes, they're listening. I like number 31, Foros. I like this cat. Think about it. I mean, of all the ones I've read thus far, I mean, this one, I mean, how is it different than Ariel or any other of the 72 angels that we studied? I like this. Now I'm curious to see the sigil. Oh, far freaking out. Oh, come on. Now that one is just, all right. The 32nd spirit in order is called Asmode. He is a great king, strong and powerful. He appears with 3 heads, whereof first is like a bull, the second like a man, the third like a ram. In my Old Testament studies, this is how Yahweh showed up. And those that serve Yahweh or the Elohim, however you want to call it. I mean, reading the book of Revelation, you can figure out also what's going on. That's just interesting. He appears also with a serpent's tail, belching or vomiting up flames of fire out of his mouth. His feet are webbed like a goose. He sitteth on the infernal dragon, carrying a lance and a flag in his hands. He is the first and chiefest under the power of Amaram, and goes before all others. Wow. Well, this is a dude. Yeah, this is one that you best respect, right? When the exorcist hath a mind to call him, let it be abroad, and let him stand on his feet at all times of action, with his cap off, for if it be on. Woo! Okay. Amaron will deceive him and cause all his doings to be bewared, divulged. But as soon as the exorcist sees Asmode as the shape aforesaid, he shall call him by his name, saying, Thou art Asmode, and he will not deny it. And by he will bow down to the ground, and he gives the ring of virtues. He teaches the art of arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, and all other handicrafts absolutely. He gives full and true answers to the demands. He makes a man invisible. He shows the place where treasures lie, and guardeth if it is to be among the legions of Amaron. He governs 2072 legions. Now, this is a powerful cat of inferior spirits. His seal is thus and must be worn all times upon your breast. A lanyard. Yeah. The 32nd spirit is Gap. Gayap. When I see that, when part of a CEO and on the board, you have fiduciary response. So when I see Gap, I always think of, the appropriate manner for accounting. Anyway, um, I digress. Let's see. He is a great president and a mighty prince. He appears when the sun is in some of the southern signs in a human shape, going before four great and mighty kings. I mean, this is like sometimes reading the book of Revelation. You're trying to keep up with it. What the what? And as if he was a guide to conduct them along in their way. His office is to make men knowing in philosophy and all the liberal sciences. He can cause love or hate, and makes men insensible. He can teach you how to consecrate those things that belong to you, that belong to the dominion of Ammon, his king, and can deliver familiars out of the custody of other magicians. Wow. That is worth thinking about here. This is implying that there are already many familiars amongst us. And I told you on Monday, just read the book of Acts. It's where I learned about the familiars. I mean, all right. So what's going on? This is more evidence to me that Paul was more a magician than he was. Well, think about it. He invented a new religion. That's pretty powerful magician, if you ask me. And what a hell of a spell. Let's see. So he can literally take these familiars who are under the command or control, bound, and say, no, now they're in your camp. He also answers truly and perfectly of things past, present, and to come, and can carry and recarry men most speedily from one kingdom to another, teleportation, and will and pleasure at the will and pleasure of the exorcist. He rules over 66 legions of spirits. He was of the order of the potentates. His seal is thus to be made and worn as a layman. The 34th spirit is called it looks like that Furfur. He is a great and mighty earl, appearing in the form of a hart with a fiery tail. He never speaks truth. Okay. I think we can get this one right next. I mean, he never speaks truth. Okay, so why would someone? All right, let's go. He can be compelled or brought up within a triangle. Being compelled therein, he will take upon himself the form of an angel, being bidden. He speaks with a hoarse voice and will and can willingly make love between man and a wife. He can raise thunder, lightning, blast, and great tempestuous storms, and he gives true answers both of secret and divine things if commanded, and rules over 26 legion of spirits. I'm just saying, I'm sorry, dude, man. You just didn't make the first cut. Yeah. This is one I don't know. Yeah, no offense. Yeah, right. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, that's sigil. Uh the 35th spirit is Marcoius. Morcoias. Yeah. Yep, I think Morcoias. Yep, yep. He is a great and mighty marquis, appearing at first in the form of a wolf, having griffin wings and a serpent's tail, vomiting up fire out of his mouth. Wow, what kind of antacids do these cats use? But afterwards, at the command of the exorcist, he puts on the shape of a man. He is a strong fighter. He gives true answers to all questions and is very faithful to the exorcist in doing his business. He was of the order of dominiations. He governs 30 legions of spirits. He told his chief master, which was Solomon, that after 1200 years, he had hoped to return to the seventh throne, and his seal is thus to be made and worn again. Well, this is a very interesting character. This is the first one I've read that is actually loyal. I mean, that's exactly what it says. He gives true answers to all questions and is very faithful to the magician, the exorcist, in doing his business. That's a kind of a partner you'd like to have, right? He's faithful. He tells the truth. Okay. And what a beautiful, beautiful, that just, doesn't that look like royalty to you? I mean, that's rich looking for myself. That's what immediately the energy that I'm looking at that I get. Yeah. Love it. All right. The 36th spirit is called Stolas. He is a great and powerful prince, appearing in the shape of a knight, mighty raven, at first before the exorcist, but afterwards he takes the image of a man. And he teaches the art of astronomy and the virtues of herbs and precious stones. He governs 26 legions of spirit, and his seal is thus and must be worn at all times. The 37th spirit is called Phoenix. He is a great marquis and appears like the form of the bird phoenix, having a child's voice. He sings many sweet notes before the exorcist, which he must not regard, but by and by he must bid him to put on a human shape. Then he will speak marvelously of all wonderful sciences. He is a good and excellent poet and will be willing to do the request. He has hopes to return to the seventh throne after 1200 years. That's what he told Solomon. He said he governs 20 legion of spirits, and this is seal. The 38th spirit is Halus. He is a great earl and appears in the form of a stock dove. He speaks with a hoarse voice. His office is to build up towers and to furnish them with ammunition and weapons. The hell, you say? And to send men to war, to places appointed. He rules 26 legions of spirits. His seal is thus to be made and more. Now, let's just stop for a second here. So, is it possible where there's ever a human war that there are more spirits, divine one, demons, angels, angelics? I wonder how many generals would ever know of this and say, I think I want to take advantage of that. Sure. Excuse me. All right. The 39th spirit in order is called Malthus. He appears at first in the form of a crow, but afterwards will put on a human shape at the request of the exorcist and speak with a hoarse voice. He is a mighty president and powerful. He can build houses and high towers, and he can bring quickly artifacts together from all the places of the world. He can destroy your enemies' desires or thoughts. And with all that they have done, he gives good familiars, and if you make any sacrifice to him, he will receive it kindly and willingly. But he will deceive him who does not offer that. He governs 40 legions of spirits, and his seal is thus. There's another one that's very loyal, and apparently, giving out a sacrifice, why not? It's like inviting a friend over, share a cup of coffee, glass of wine, a joint, whatever. The 40th spirit is called Briy. He is a earl and appears at first in the form of a crow, another one in a crow, but afterwards, at the command of the exorcist, he putteth on human shape. His office is to steal treasures out of kings' houses and to carry it where he is commanded and to destroy cities and dignitaries of men. And to tell all things past and which is and which will be, and to cause love between friends and foes. He was of the order of thrones and governs 30 legions of spirits, and his seal must be worn. We're getting time to the last ones. The 41st spirit in order is called Folar. He is a great duke and strong and appears in the form of a man with griffin wings. His office is to kill men. Well, hello. And to drown them in waters and to overthrow ships of war, for he has power over both wind and seas, but he will not hurt any man or thing if he be commanded to not the contrary by the exorcist. He has hopes to return to the seventh throne after 1,000 years. He governs 3 legions of spirits, and his spirit is with which must be worn. I get the idea. He's only got 3 legions. I mean, and the ranking is like, dude. All right. That's a strange and crazy sigil. That's interesting. That's creative. The 42nd spirit is Vapar. He is a great and strong duke, appears like a mermaid. His office is to guide the waters and ships laden with armor thereon, and he will, at the will of the exorcist, cause the seas to be rough and stormy, and to appear full of ships he causes men to die in 3 days with putrefying their sores and wounds, and causing worms in them to breed, and he governs 29 legions of spirits. Woo! All righty. Holy crap. Looks like a chicken to me, but anyway. The 43rd spirit in the order of Solomon commanded them into a brazen vessel is called Setnakh. He is a mighty great marquis and strong appearing in the form of an armed soldier with a lion's head, riding on a pale colored horse. His office is to build high towers, castles, and cities, and to furnish them with armor, and to afflict men several days with wounds and rotten sores full of worms. He gives good familiars. At the command of the exorcist, he commanded 50 legions of spirits. My. The 44th and final one. Spirit is in the order is called Shock. He is a great marquis and appears in the form of a stock dove, speaking with a hoarse and subtle voice. His office is to take away the sight, hearing, and understanding of any man or woman at the command of the exorcist, and to steal money out of kings' houses and carry it again in 1200 years. If commanded, he will fetch horses or anything at the request of the exorcist, but he must be commanded into a triangle first, or else he will deceive him and tell you many lies. He can discover all things that are so hidden and not kept by wicked spirits. He gives good familiars sometimes. He governor 30 legions of spirits. His seal is thus and is made to be worn as thus. Oh, well, there's a few more. Excuse me, I guess we're going to pick this up most likely on Monday. There's only a couple more left, but anyway. There we go. It's good to know these things. Now, you talk about the sores, and I'm probably going to go a little bit over on this, but I read the same thing in the Old Testament. The angels. Well, in fact, all of us know the story of the 10 plagues of Egypt. Same thing. So my question immediately comes, now, wait a minute. So are these angels or are these demons carrying out the command of who's ever giving the command? We know Gabriel was said that he was the angel that went in and slaughtered the babies, all the firstborn. I mean, um, I'm just reading some of the things in this. But yeah, very, very, very odd. It's just crazy. Good crazy, though. I like it. I mean, some of them I don't have a problem. There's almost a natural affinity. And then there's others that it's like, what the hell you're thinking? I mean, it's like, yeah, I really want to get some more of that bad karma. Come on, bring it on in. You know, yikes. Okay, we'll finish this up. Wow. I guess conclusion will be conclusion too, right? Uh, but nevertheless, it's interesting. It is, Rick. When you learn this, it opens you up. I mean, your consciousness can't help but not be opened up because it now brings into the equation of a whole new layer of where this information is not known to the vast majority of those who believe or don't believe in a particular religion or faith. They have no idea, but yet it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I look now with an eye of things that you begin to spot when a certain person of fame, doesn't matter what type of fame, but when they speak or her, whatever the case may be, the voice, the frequency mesmerizes individuals. Yeah. Called a spell. Works every time. So anyway, there we go. Trust y'all are enjoying it. I am. Tomorrow I am going to, and we won't get through all of Nathan's book. It's a long one, but I really want all of us to have a better insight of who this individual is and how fortunate and how I think favored we are to have someone who is a part of this. And I thank all of you who have bought his if you have. Um, he's a very generous man. He gives a lot away. And Lauren and I were talking, Ginger. Um, she has hers framed, and I have mine on the wall over there as well. And it's like when you walk in, there is this energy that emanates. Well, it's all over in this office, but yeah, that's why I like it in here. It's, it's like, yeah, this is cool. Grace, right back at you, darling, and thank you. Thank you for letting me know that you like it. I'll continue, and I think we have to. I think we just have to be respectful to these spirits, you know, and I think that well, I think some of them will reciprocate in kind. I'm not vouching for all of them. Some of them I'm going, mm-hmm. I mean, that's just like going through a neighborhood. You're going, I don't belong there. I have no reason to be in here. It's like, nothing missing, nothing broken. That's right, Jackie. It's absolutely. And, we got the love here, and, we're learning, whether we use this or not, the knowledge alone has great benefits. That's all I can say. Ruby, you have a great day too, sweetie. Cowboy, thank you, brother. Gaia, right back at you. Um, yeah, I appreciate all of you. Thank you again. I mean, I am humbled and honored to be amongst such greatness as all of you. So, certainly tells me where my energy is at. All right, folks, love one another, keep happy, keep smiling, and hey, keep growing. That's how we do it. That's the way. So Barry wins, right back at you, darling. All right. So Bonnie, you're welcome. RF. Uh Everything is bipolar. Ain't that the truth? Flight Risk, how you doing? Good to see you as well. All right. Much love, everyone.